it's Jill here. Welcome to my craft room. I am super excited to share a kind of new to me plan that I'm going to use for tracking and gaining some momentum with my scrapbooking hobby. So I picked up this Archer and Olive notebook. They had I think it was part of a Black Friday sale maybe, and it had this very cute little journal with washi tape and pen on the front. And I love this color. This is sort of like, I don't know, I would call it my signature color if I were to have one. And I just couldn't resist it. I am not a huge Archer and Olive consumer. I'd never purchased a journal before this, and then I went and purchased 3. But journaling, bullet journaling, not really my thing. But I was inspired. Well, one, this little image, I was immediately, thought, yes, I've got to do something with this notebook. And I've been watching Linda Jordan of Linda Loves Creating. Oh, I've been watching her YouTube channel for a while now. But she talks about and keeps a craft journal. And that's what she uses to keep herself on track, set goals and keep herself on track. In fact, she just posted a video of her 2026, like a plan with me for her 2026 notebook and scrapbooking plans. And so it got me thinking that I could use this for that purpose. Now, in the past, I'm a big planner. I'm a happy planner gal, right? I like the disc bound, and typically what I would do is keep a running list in the weekly layout. It's not in here, so I won't show you, but in the weekly layout of my spread, I would keep a running to-do list of things to do for my scrapbooking. This year, I'm going to keep all of that here. And I just kind of like the idea of trying something new and, seeing if it works and having it all in one place. I think that was the other thing. My system has been working for me fairly well for a while, but, you have to flip back to every single week or every single month. I have kind of 2 different places where I track things and, to kind of see where I left off or what didn't get finished, etc. Versus keeping it all here. All of my craft stuff will be in one place. So we're going to give it a shot. So here's what I did to get started. I'll show you. So again, I'm not a bullet journal person. So I've now gone down the rabbit hole of watching a lot of YouTube videos. But the first thing I did was take Post-it notes and just wrote, what did I think I wanted to keep track of? So first I thought some sort of a monthly overview. I wanted to track like incoming kits, key dates, if there's a community project happening, what's my organizing and decluttering focus, because I do want to stay diligent about that. I've gotten a little off of my decluttering efforts last year. So I want to make sure that I always stay focused on that. And then because we moved into a new house last year, I now have the very fortunate privilege of having a craft room, but it is a disaster. So I definitely need to work on getting my craft room in order, and I'm going to just have sort of like a monthly focus for that because it can be overwhelming or has been overwhelming, and I want to just kind of keep chipping away at it. So what's my kind of craft room focus? And then I thought I would also include kind of stats. Now, if you watch Linda's planning and her video and what she tracks, she keeps very detailed track of the in and outflow of products, right? So how many embellishments and papers and things like that. That's a little too detailed for me personally, and so I didn't want to do that. But what I did like, and what I wanted to kind of take and adopt and try for myself, is keeping track of things like unfinished projects, unfinished layouts, because I am the queen of that. Layouts that I've designed but haven't even started, right? And so I have a story basket that has, 50 or 60 stories in it. They've been sketched, the products are pulled, but I haven't actually done the work to put the layout together. And I really, really, really want to chip away at that this year. So I thought keeping track of how many things I had designed, set aside, in progress in some state of unfinishedness, and really tackling that this year. So that's what I'm going to keep track of. And then I also wanted to keep track of, what classes was I signed up for, or did I have access to through Allie Edwards. I'm also part of Simple Scrapper, and there are journeys that they do every 2 months. There's a new journey and there are different tasks to do. And so I thought, I could and should keep track of that in the same place here. It's all devoted to my scrapbooking hobby. So those are things I knew I wanted to capture. And then the next thing I did, and I'm just showing you this because, again, if this is new to you also, or if maybe it's not new to you, but you just want to see how somebody else approached it, I hope that this, inspires you and helps you to not be so nervous about taking the plunge with it. So I just started a very rough sketch on some scratch paper for how I wanted to organize the content. So that's what I did here. Key dates, the kits that I was expecting, the different stats. Story kits is another one that I decided to add because I have a lot of story kits and I'd like to start making some progress on getting those used up. And I also decided to start keeping track of my social media stats. This is less important to me, but I was like, why not? I've got space and it would make sense in here. So I sketched those out. So this is going to be the monthly overview. And then the other thing that I sketched out is what I wanted to do. And let me see if I included the Post-it back here or not. I think I threw that out. But I wanted to include my weekly plan. So every week, like I'm planning, and this is more tick marks, by the way, than I ever expect to actually finish. My goal this year is to do 5 layouts a week for 45 of the 52 weeks. I figure that 3 of those weeks I'll be out of commission for some reason or another, if it's a vacation or, flu season, or I just don't feel like it. So that's where I think 3 weeks will drift off to the holidays. And then I'm going to dedicate 4 weeks over the course of the year to just a massive reset and a refresh. And this is something that is supported through Simple Scrapper. There are a couple of different points along the year for the community to stash bash and reset retreat. So these are moments and opportunities that I'm going to take to just kind of reorganize or level set my space. So 45 committed weeks to doing scrapbooking, 5 layouts a week is my goal. And so this is what I'm going to do here is have the week will have, this will say, this one page will be for each week. So one page here, week 1, what did I have planned? And then what did I actually complete? And then anything that I did not complete ideally goes up into the planned for the following week. One sort of thing that I'm really working on for myself this year is finishing projects. So I love to start things and then I get hung up or stuck on it, and then I get sucked into like the next new shiny thing coming, and that project gets put to the side or layout gets put to the side, and it is becoming a problem. So my goal here is, if it's planned, then completed, and anything not completed goes over here. Anything planned but not completed shifts over to the next week so that I actually finish it. So I just sketched those pages out. So here's what I came up with. Okay, so here, it's not all finished, but I thought I would show you what I had so far. Okay, so first, I haven't put my name in here yet, but first thing I did, and I saw this watching somebody's YouTube channel, I did get the tip that the first page of the journal really should be adhered to the cover, because if you use it as its own thing, it kind of breaks the binding here. So I was going to glue that down, and then I saw somebody turn it into a pocket, and I thought, well, I want a pocket also. So here you go. So I put tape down the 3 sides here, and now this is a little pocket, and I don't know what I'm going to put in there, but it's there. This backing here is sticker paper from a Cocoa Daisy kit. This was the January kit, the kit from January 2025. It was called Nordic Nights, and I happened to have, at the time, I had a journaling, they had different kits, and I basically had 4 kit subscriptions. So I have quite a bit of product left from that. But again, a lot of the product, because I subscribe to the journaling kit, is flat. So this flat sticker paper, made a really nice pattern there. So that's the first is my pocket. Then I'm going to come back in here in these opening pages, and I'm going to just, I need to just think a little bit more how I want to lay these out. But this will be my craft room projects. And this is my annual plan, as I mentioned, 5 layouts a week times 45 weeks. So my goal is 225 stories for the year. Let's see if I make it. But I want to write that out in some way that's not, chicken scratch. Okay, then I come into here. This page over here, don't look here. I'm not ready to show you that yet. This page here is going to be my Q1 goals. So I'm going to try to break this down by quarter. So basically taking what I lay out in my craft room projects and what I lay out for my annual plan of stories, and what I want to do here. I have an idea of doing 5 layouts a week, but I also want to pick some specific things to work on. So for example, I have my week in the life albums, and none of them are finished, but they're all very close, right? So that to me, I need to go through and almost like inventory the album to see what needs to be finished so I can finish that project. And I want to outline that here in my annual plan. So I want to just basically pick like, what are the 2 or 3 project albums that I'm going to finish and what needs to happen. So that's what's going to go here. Okay, so then I'll break that down into what I'm going to tackle for the first quarter. So I'm not finished setting those up. Then I come here to the monthly page. So I added a tab here that I've also purchased from Archer and Olive. January, decorated with some of the extra rub-ons and stickers and things that I had from that Cocoa Daisy kit. So that's January, and then flip over, and then here it is. So this is the monthly overview. I need to obviously write monthly overview, and I was trying to decide if I was going to write it or stamp it. My handwriting is really not that fancy or nice, but I'm working on it. I try to make it look a little cutesy. So I will fill that in for monthly overview, but here's how I laid out the pages. So key dates coming up, my incoming kits, community project or projects. This is my inventory. That's what I decided to call that. So how many in progress stories, how many stories are in the story basket, how many unfinished project albums, things like that. And then social media. Then what I'm going to do for my craft room, the classes, and what I'm working on for this Simple Scrapper journey for the 2 months. So that's how I've laid that out here. Then the next thing I did was I came over here. This page is going to have the upcoming kit, any kits that I'm expecting, and my story ideas. So I often will jot this down in a notes on my phone, but, and it's not as many now because Allie doesn't do the monthly story kits any longer, but I do have stories by the month and the quarterly storyteller kit. And so I do, and I also get Cocoa Daisy kits, not every month, but I do have a subscription there as well. So I wanted to just start jotting down like what are some ideas of the stories that I could tell so that when the kit arrives, I'm kind of ready to go. And I've done that before, but I've just kept it again in the notes app on my phone, and I want to have it all centered here with all my craft stuff. Then I come into the weekly. So this will say week 1, this is this layout here, right? So week 1, and then it will be what's planned, and then what did I complete. And I even I'm very proud of myself. If you're a seasoned bullet journaler, you'll be like, yeah, Jill, this is nothing too fancy, but I'm excited about myself. I did a little cut here, and I made the little Dutch door, I think is what they're called. So it says weekly layouts, and then all of these pages here will be the weekly, my plan for the weekly layouts. So week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5. So that's pretty much all I've done in terms of decorating. And then I've got another sticky note here. I think I'm going to use this almost as like daily pages, like when I come to sit down to craft, like, okay, what are the things I need to do? This isn't going to be decorative or anything fancy. It's going to be very tactical, just almost like chicken scratch of like, okay, print the picture for this, journal for that, find a pink heart embellishment for that, like whatever the specific things are to finish my projects. This is my goal, finish my projects. I just started working on my one little word for the year, which my word is tend. And so I'm like, tend to my projects, tend to all of my finished projects. So that word keeps coming up in my mind. So that's it. That's basically what I set up in terms of the creative component. But I just wanted to bring you along. I'm really excited to use this to track and hopefully gain some momentum with my scrapbooking this year, and highly recommend, if this is something that appeals to you also, or that you're interested in, to watch a lot of other YouTubers. Like I said, Linda Jordan is the one who I've seen who has been doing this particular kind of style for a very long time. I am certainly not the expert, but again, maybe I have inspired you. And if you know of other people who also do the same thing, please share. If it's you or other YouTube channels, please share so that I can also watch and gain some more inspiration. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, I can't wait to craft with you this year. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.